Okay. I am
Is there anything you would like us to bring over on today?
live. Have- How is everybody today? Sorry, there's a phone call going on the other side of the living room here. Okay. Anyway, how is everyone today? I've got a slightly different view going on. Um, so, um,
No, we drink soda, we drink
so,
water, lemonade, you name it.
um, sorry, hold on one second.
No, yeah, we're kind,
Hold on
we're
one
good with
second.
any kind. There's nothing specific.
One moment. Okay. Sorry for that. So let's see. My name is Heather Dewey Pettit, and I am a writer, editor, and artist. Um,
We're looking for to come
but
over too.
I am
Right.
going to just kind of hold on a moment till I
Uh-huh.
see some people in the chat. Actually, we have our
Right.
awesome. Um,
You're right. Right. Monday's the last day.
my awesome friend, Padgett
It'll be
Farmer,
Sunday. Sunday.
who
Yeah,
says,
right.
Art, Art, Art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I've been working hard at getting ready for this. It's early, huh? Is it early for you, Paget? Yes, I guess it would be. It is 11 o'clock here Eastern.
Yeah.
Um, um, here in Florida, where I am. Let's see. We've got somebody else in the chat here. We got Mama Maggie Ward. How are you? Good morning. Good morning to everyone, or good day, depending on where you're at in the world.
That sounds good.
If you are watching this, thank you very much. If you're watching live, thank you. I appreciate
You
it.
too.
Um, and also, if anybody watches the replay, thank you very much. Um, come, let's see.
Right.
And oh, here we go.
That
All
works.
right.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, I'm so glad that I'm so sorry I couldn't be there. Just a lot of issues going on with my son's first day of school yesterday. Um, I'm so glad you had a good lunch and and
That sounds good.
need to get the words today. Awesome. I I was thinking about having some time here
Definitely.
for sprints as well as to um, th- discuss things I'm here for specifically today.
Right.
So that is fine if we want to have at least one sprint. That is fine. At least one sprint. Let's do that. I was debating, but I think let's do it.
Uh-huh.
Specifically today, um, I am going to be working on. I have a table right next to me. I've adjusted my view slightly. You can see my tripod here. You can also see all my books. There's even more on the floor, and I got some in my cart here. Um, I've reorganized it for the most part, and I have some I have some supplies there. I have some notebooks that I have plans for, very specific plans for, and some just basically some things I'm going to be using in over the next couple of months before I have a big in-person event in September. So Padgett is going to get other earbuds, and we shall actually be seeing her momentarily. So anyway, yes. Again, my name is Heather Dewey Pettit, and I am a writer, editor, and artist. So what ties all three of those things together is my love of fantasy and sci-fi. But today, I'm mostly going to be talking about my art. Um, but that is coming. But let me go ahead and go into my usual thing where um, let's see, as a writer, in recent years, my focus has been on fiction, but I used to be a freelance writer, freelance journalist. Um, in so yeah, so but uh, m- within that, my focus has been, as I say, on fiction and mostly science fiction and fantasy. Um, so do have a novel in the works, as well as some other cool things. I have a short story I kind of been working on lately, but I'm taking a break from because I have to find some other pieces. So I'm going to be digging through my computer next week and finding some pieces that I need to assemble. So apparently I'm a puzzler. I've found out. So I'm kind of is a, a planter and a puzzler combined probably. Uh, and so I have that. And then as an editor, I am a freelance line editor, copy editor, and proofreader. I also do sensitivity reading because I have lots of very specific experiences in my lifetime, including being a woman, a cis woman, I guess you could say. Uh, um, Lots of different experiences. I grew up in a lot of different places, essentially, and so also I am neurodivergent, and I also have an adult son who is neurodivergent. So anyway, um, but as I say, for the most part, let's get to the artist part because for the most part, um, all you have to do, Padgett, is to click on the link and it will take you to the studio and I will add you from there. Um, so, as an artist, I love working with water-based media like watercolor and gouache. Gouache can be used in a variety of ways, but you can also water it down like watercolor. It's basically the same thing, it just has more pigment in it. Um, uh, let's see. So I also love working with stamps and stamping inks, and I have a selection with me right now. I can also go get more things. I was just thinking about going to get. Um, there is one thing that I like to use, and it's called a gel press. Uh, so, so this art you see around me, this here, let me take myself out for just changing the layout rather. Let me change the layout. Why is it not doing anything? Well, that's just strange. What? It's not changing the layout. Well, Oh well. Anyway, so so anyway, this art that you see around me, this background, um, I created that with watercolor in a variety of dilutions, strengths, um, and then I applied that to a gel press. And I can explain that if you guys want me to. I have so I spattered it on, and then I spritzed water on, and then I put uh, some watercolor paper on top of that, smoothed it, peeled it off. This gel press is a clear. Um, I don't have one in front of me. Sorry. Um, I'm gonna go grab a couple. Um, it's made out. Traditionally, they're made out of gelatin. This is why they're called a gel press. And they're currently they use resin and a bunch of other things. Mineral oil, I do believe, is part of it. But thank you very much. So yes, I have an Etsy page. Um, I also have a new shop in my Ko-fi. So all the links are in the description, but I'm going to be popping links in the chat today. Um, so yes,
Claim number
you're in
is
studio. I don't see you.
LPA00118220. Date of service is July 6th of 2023.
So Paget, basically, who can Paget and I had this idea that we could show you guys what I was able to create for her.
My phone number is 727.
Because essentially she commissioned some bookmarks from me. She's bought some things from me over the last probably 2 years since I started my Etsy shop. And okay, don't worry, Paget. Don't worry. Everything's fine. So all you got to do is click on the link that I sent you. And then when I see you, I will add you to the stream. I understand. It's a little bit of a learning curve when the first couple of times you do this. So anyway, she wanted to show everybody, um, what I was able to make for her, and we've been talking about this off and on for oh gosh months, huh, Paget? So no worries. And take your time. Take your time. Excuse me. Um, so while we're waiting for her, what we could probably do is have a first we could go ahead and have a first sorry, I don't have it yet. Let me get us a timer really quickly. um so that we can have a couple of of sprints as well in here, because why not? um, no worries, Paget. And that'll give us some time to work it out. Also, you can get into the private chat, Paget. If I do, if I'm glancing away and you come in, just to let me know. Okay, so yeah, I do often use the Pomodoro Kitty with a 25 minute um, um, amount of time. You're in StreamYard, but you don't see anything. Huh, I don't see you. Okay, so if you're in StreamYard, there should be you should see a, basically it's a box. You should see a picture, you should see a video of yourself, and under that you'll have where you enter your name. You have to click on something. What does it say? You have to say there is something you have to click to enter. Oh, enter studio. Excuse me. You have to click on enter studio. Um, so while we are working out those bugs, let's go ahead and have a first sprint. It's about 16 past the hour. Yeah, I think yeah, I'm going to do that, Maggie. So let's go ahead and have a sprint, and we'll get it started. Where's my water? Oh yeah, drink your water. Do what you need to do for yourself. We'll start this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's sprint.
Oh boy, you're giving him a haircut, huh? Okay. Um, okay, but that's okay.
You think you're okay?
Yeah.
I'm head there, probably.
Yes, dear. Okay, then keep it up, but you need to get in the shower.
All right. How did everybody do? What did everybody do? I went and got a what could probably be called a crap load of supplies. um, and some things that I'd like to show. Um, including some stamps that and as well as some gel presses. I do actually have a few. Some examples of stamps that I can use on the bookmarks that I have commission set up for on my coffee. And a couple of things that I am working on. I am let's see. Let me see about. And you can also let us know when you're ready, Padgett. And I might change this break, or just pause it. Let me just pause this for a second.
Are you guys hearing me like in real time? There's this crazy
I can
delay over here.
I can hear you
Okay.
very well.
Good. Awesome. Well, I'm
Great.
sorry about all of that. I don't know what's going on, but I think it's back now. It was kind of going in and out during the break, but
Okay.
But hey, I'm Padgett, and I just want to show you guys. This is one of my favorite bookmarks that Heather made for me. The typewriter.
Let me see if I can make you bigger, maybe. That's me.
Okay.
No. Well, that's maybe a little better. There we go. Yeah, that's one of the mini bookmarks. I've been selling those as a set online. And rather, I've been selling it on Etsy as a set. In person, I've also just sold them individually, and sometimes people buy them individually, or they'll buy some. They'll buy a few. But it was I was selling it as a set of 4, correct, Padgett?
Yeah. So there was this one, and there were a couple that were fairies. A lot of stuff I've used as gifts, and people loved them. And then there were, this is a while ago, like maybe a couple of years ago, Heather made these. They're still on her Etsy, I think. They were like mermaid note cards, like thank you cards, or like for you cards. Do you remember? They're like colored.
Yes.
I used them for a couple of BB's kid things, but anyway, they're so cute. So she's got a nice array of things on there. I think I love your Etsy shop.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. And both you and Maggie, thank you very much for your kind thoughts on that.
Sure.
Also, that's not what I want. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Stop. I guess I have to remove the timer momentarily so I can how interesting. Stop screen. Okay. There we go. Now I can share a different screen. Here's my Etsy shop. Can everybody see that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, now I click back. Okay, I can see it now. Where am I?
So yeah, that's what she
Lost my,
did. The
lost my place
vintage
again.
fairy. The greeting card was a bookmark.
Oh well, let me just go
And
back to
I
StreamYard. Okay. So at the top, those are the two, the fairy queen and the fairy there. I guess that inspired you, huh, Padgett, for your
those are my favorites.
watercolor
Yeah.
bookmarks that I made for you.
Yeah.
So that's what we ended up doing. And how did you like that whole process?
Oh, that's my favorite. I loved how you did that. I love those. And then down here where she has the water mermaid, it's like kind of bluish tealish, and I think that's a tile, but
Panel?
she also had
Yeah,
those as gift cards
yeah.
or note
It's
cards or whatever. Yeah.
yes, I had that mermaid. It's this blah, blah, blah. It's a die cut. Well, I have a die. It's for cutting paper, and on the card it was cardstock. On that panel there, it's like an artist panel. That I do believe that is sturdy watercolor paper. Is what I use for that. So yeah, and then that's gouache that I used in various strengths and made it look like water. I did that
What's
one
gouache?
second. The other one, gouache, is kind of like watercolor paint, but it's more concentrated and thicker. And so,
Okay.
but it can be used in similar ways. It's spelled
Very cool.
Gouache.
Oh wow.
It's a French word, apparently.
Very
I
cool.
think.
I never heard of that before.
Sounds like it. Yeah. I first heard of it probably several years ago, and I finally got some a few years back, and that's when I made those. 1 second, and I will find my tab. Where is it? Where'd it go?
Oh no, my contagion is spreading.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Where the heck did it go? I didn't really do any tabs.
Yeah,
Let me get rid of a couple
that's
of
the
things.
life. If there aren't 12 tabs open, like, am I even awake?
At least.
Yeah.
It's like I want to remember, so I'm going to leave it when because I have my computer set to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it shuts down, it automatically brings everything back up again. It'll be there.
Yeah, that's what I do. But I used to be like, I'll just bookmark it, and then one day I was like, oh, that's right, bookmark.
I need to do bookmarks more than I just do that.
I did well, but then if you don't remember to look at them, then you look back one day and you've got like 400 bookmarks, and you're like, I don't even remember some of this stuff. Like,
yeah, exactly. Or you're like, oh yeah, it's been like 5 years since I've been to this website. Am I right?
These people have closed down and like they've started a new business. Like they have moved on.
For heaven's sake, I can't find it. This is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous and embarrassing. Oh boy. Whatever. Let me just get rid of that, and I can put up my but that way I can put up my Ko-fi during the next sprint.
Okay. Perfect.
That'll work.
But a 6-year-old hollering, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I'll mute myself so you guys don't have to hear us.
But the bookmark listing you see there, that size is 3x5 for anybody who is curious, and that is what one commission listing is for on the coffee. And so there's that. Also some people came in. Is there anything else I wanted to show that oh yeah, okay. So there is my Etsy shop there. There's a link in the chat. And here is my I'll just say coffee from here on in. My coffee shop there is a link there. If anybody wants to go ahead and check that out. So I will be pulling that up during the next sprint. Let's see. One moment here. Let me get us set back up again with our timer. I will reset I'll just reset it. There we go. And all right. We're going to go ahead and get this started. But before, let's see. Before I do, here is a quick example of what I was talking about with what a gel press is. I was actually starting to clean it earlier. So this is, I have shown this gel press before during a stream. This is, it's not the smallest one I have, but I can show more momentarily. This is a 4-inch circle. Again, it's made from a variety of materials, including gelatin and mineral oil and resin. And you can apply inks or paints in just a variety of ways, including, but not limited to, a roller like this. You can apply the paint. Put your paper on, whatever paper you use. You can use cardstock, all kinds of paper, including tissue paper, actually. And when we come back, if anybody wants a demo of some sort, please let me know. But okay. Let's go ahead and get this next sprint started, though. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's sprint. Okay. How did everybody do? What did everybody do? So I got more stuff, and I wanted to show, since Padgett had to go and take care of something, unfortunately, I did get a couple of things that so I could show you the cards a little closer that we were inspired by, that we essentially just sort of remodeled into a couple of bookmarks. So these are those two fairy cards that inspired Padgett, honestly. Here is a close-up of that one. I can take the packaging off. They have traveled with me to some events over the last about the last year or so, maybe almost 2 years now. Here is this one. So you can see that in more detail. There is some shiny stuff I used for the fairy dust there. I stamped it in some shiny stamping ink, and then I also applied just a little bit of metallic watercolor paint to the centers of the larger ones there. And so I've colored her in watercolor pencil, a brown watercolor pencil, and this gradually diluted it for the for blending. So now, basically I blended it with water with a water brush. What started it was creating this background first, though, just with some watercolor paint. And then I took a specialty kind of ink to the edges to make it look like aged paper. Like maybe to me it looked like an illustration of a children's book from the turn of the 20th century. So yeah, so that's that one. And then let me get the Fairy Queen one. So that's what we were inspired by. I didn't, for the bookmarks that we had made, I didn't include the background, but I did do some. I applied more of that distress ink, and it's called Distress Oxide ink. And here's the Fairy Queen, and I just used a different stamp for the. So you can see if I hold it this way, you can see all of the shiny ink and the little bit of metallic watercolor paint that I used for portions of the fairy dust there. And isn't she majestic? And she and again, they just look like vintage fairies for me, like Art Nouveau fairies. I really, when I saw them in the store, I really liked that. So again, if anybody wants a quick demo of how these gel presses are used, I can do that. That's not a problem. I've got some more comments. Also, thank you for popping that in as well, Bonnie. Thank you. So yeah, Maggie got the hubby fed and packed and sent off to work for the weekend with meals. Awesome. And yes, well, I hope to see Padgett again sometime in the future. It was nice to see her. So yes, again, this stream is about basically this purpose. The purpose of the stream is to talk about my commissions, and And so basically, more listings are coming to it. I have been very busy the last few weeks, but as my son is out of school, but I will be working diligently on creating some more listings on my coffee page, and I'm cleaning this off a bit because oh boy, the last time I used it, I used a particular color of ink, which was green. um, and one of the listings that is coming is for something that writers can use, an index card stack. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. Yes. And the book, I was just going to say the same thing. Often these bookmarks of all of the ones that you see can also be used as gift tags. Yes. Thank you, Maggie. I was just looking at that last night. All right. Well, Maggie helped me create that, the one she's talking about, and that is here. And this is colored, and this is with that same distress ink in a different color. That's that one. All right. We can do some more work, and I can mute myself. And I can use this to work on the next thing I wanted to talk about. And I'll talk about when we come back from this sprint. All right. See you on the other side. All right. How did everybody do? What did everybody do? I got into coffee. I'll just pronounce it that way from here on in. I think. The little communicating in there. I also communicated with Padgett. Just want to make sure everything was all right with her. But this is another addition that is coming to my coffee. I am working on that momentarily. And so this is something I had thought of a while back. And I finally made made something up so that so everybody could see. Let me see if I can. No, that's not what I want. That no. There we go. Apologies. I always get that one mixed up with the one next to it, really. Anyway, so this is dropped something. A stack of index cards. I figured that's something that a lot of writers need, a lot of writers use for beginning outlines, or I've always used them for that since I can practically since I can remember. Well, anyway, since middle school. So what I have done here is I use this gel press and some special ink, which was actually this one right here. Ironically, it's the color is called Mermaid. It's by Olivia Stamps, and I really like using their products. Exactly, Maggie. It is a mermaid tail. I use a portion of a stamp that I have made by Olivia Stamps, actually. And isn't that amazingly detailed, by the way? I just love that stamp. I can't wait to use the full stamp because she's just amazing. Her name is Zealith. And I have ordered smaller rings, smaller bookbinder rings, or whatever you want to call them. And so anyway, so this is just a sort of demonstration purposes kind of thing. What I used was an index card, actually a heavyweight index card. Does have some texture to it, and so that inspired me to go ahead and use that for the cover. I also have two and or is that three? That's three. Here's two. So the cover and that divider and that divider. So it's basically this is 30 cards in total minus the dividers and the cover. I thought that sounded like a good number. I was doing some research recently and asking some people what they thought about that. I think that might work really well. What are your guys' thoughts? And I can also do other themes because again, I do have I have a variety of stamps, including one second. The stamp I used with the small bookmarks that Padgett showed. If I can find one right now. Maybe I don't have any made right now. Anyway, I do have. I'm just going to ignore that for the moment. I do have some, sort of medium-sized things. I do have sort of a medium size, about this size. I would say this is approximately 3.5 inches tall. This stamp here, this Hobbit door stamp. Isn't that cool? I have used that on a card in the past. So about that size, something about that size. I could also use for the bookmark listing on coffee, as well as something like this, about the same size, and as well as the stamp here. This is what I've used for, again, my most popular stamp, my most popular thing that I have sold on my Etsy page is bookmarks made with this. And the resulting image looks like these. And I can make it to represent something like this. So these are for the listing from my that's on my Etsy shop. One second. So yeah, for that, the 3x5 bookmark, those stamps work really well for. So they're just a great size, because that, again, they are 3x5. One thing I did, I also cut down some cardstock, some watercolor paper, and so that I can use that to make more things, because I am going to be attending some events, like I say, in August and September, and so that's why I'm doing this stream, for the most part, is to show what I can do. And so like Maggie said here, a lot of these bookmarks can also be used as gift tags, and yeah, they can be tied onto a package. So again, that's that size. I can use cardstock. These are made with cardstock. I could also use watercolor paper like this one here. I use metallic stamping ink for that. And there are things that you can request, and everything is on the page. But I'm taking off the timer so that I can show you guys. One second. My coffee page. So here is my page. Yeah, I don't have anything up here yet, but again, this is that same bit of watercolor painting that I've made, and here's my goal, just to assist with my travel expenses, because again, I'm going to Orlando Reads Books at the end of the month, and then in the weekend of September 22nd through 24th, I will be at Necronomicon Tampa. I'm going to be selling my art, and I will be speaking. I'm hosting 3 panels. 3. Yeah, it should be 3 panels that I'm actually hosting. I will be on other panels as well. And actually, Sako Toomey is going to be in the area, and so we are doing at least one panel together, and more information is forthcoming about that. I will get my schedule as it is confirmed, as everything is confirmed, and so yeah, so that's my coffee page, and if you go down, here is the commissions. Um, where you can just click on that and you can see the two choices. So here is the watercolor bookmark, and it does have some images here from when I was working with Padgett on the bookmarks that I made for her. So here is actually is excuse me, this image is from when the bookmarks were almost completed. So the only thing missing here is adding the stamped fairy dust on them. So that's what they look like essentially, though. That was just before I stamped that, and there's a detail picture of the smaller fairy, and that is the stamp set that I used. So there is so there's the stamp with that little fairy dust on there. There's even some sentiment stamps there included in the set. So yeah, that's a nice little set. They're a great size for again, I would call them a medium-sized stamp. Stamps. The Fairy Queen is obviously larger, a little bit larger, but they work really well for how we use them. So yeah. And again, I use watercolor pencils to color the images. And then here is the other one, where I use the image that I use for the Etsy listing. So, and then so if I click on that, you can see that a little bit better. So yeah. So I used a medium-sized stamp from my collection of either clear polymer stamps or the old-fashioned rubber stamps, and that's the stamp like that. Oh, I thought you could see that. Oh, wait a minute. I'm so sorry. I thought everybody could see what I was seeing. Pardon. You want to come to Tampa so much. Oh. It's such an interesting area, honestly, Tampa Bay. And I was saying to somebody like yesterday, it's such an artsy area anyway. Yeah, I was doing that. I'm sorry, Maggie. I was doing that, but I there was a button I hadn't pushed. I'm so sorry. Let me do that again. Let me back up. Here it is. So yes. So hopefully you can see this better now. I'm sorry. So there is my page. This is my commissions. The commissions part of my coffee page. So it's for there are two listings right now in there for the bookmarks. One is for watercolor because it's a little bit different kind of paper. I just thought it would make it easier if you had major choices, like you could use watercolor paper, and then I can use watercolor pencils with that, or I can use cardstock and then use just regular colored pencils. Well, I mean, I could really use. They're pretty much interchangeable unless you want to add water. But for the most part, they are interchangeable. So when you obviously you just hit the request this, and then here is where you would describe things you want. I have it set up where you can request, where you can pay more if you really want, but you don't have to. Also, I wanted to show that I do have a shop where these are things that are already created, ready to go. There is the set of small bookmarks that Padgett showed earlier. They're available here through my coffee page, and it is a 4-pack. And these are 2.5 by 3.5 inches, made with heavyweight cardstock, and I did round the upper corners. And there's a stamped typewriter on those, and they're just already done. And so nothing to modify here, just they're ready to go. And then here's this other listing, and they're just ready to go. Although if you want, I can hole punch those and add a little tassel. And so again, those are AT size. In other words, they're 2.5 by 3.5 inches, basically the size of a baseball card. So, or a collector card, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to go to my main page here. So again, it shows the goal. I have a $600 goal for now, to reach by the end of the month. By the end of September. By the end of the quarter is what I wanted to say. Sorry. So yeah. Yeah. So basically, it's just to help fund me going to some events. There was a listing I started to put on that I removed, but for some reason that image is still there. This thinking of you. But anyway, I'll have to see if I can remove that. I also have set up just a basic donation of just $3. But you can always, I think you can always donate what you want if you feel like doing that. Also, there's a 5-minute video in here about the 4 stages of editing. I do have more videos coming to that soon. I've also linked my Substack in here a couple of times. I've just been really busy these last few weeks. I haven't had as much time as I would have liked to work on this, but next week I will be doing more. I will be adding listings. I will be adding listing excuse me, for for the index cards. What do you guys think? Do you like them? Excuse me. I've been talking so much. Excuse me. Again, these rings will be a little smaller. I just ordered some. I should be getting them in the next day or two. So they're not too floppy. Like this one. This initial thing is. So yeah, Necronomicon is so much fun. The one great benefit of Necronomicon Tampa is, and I say that because there's another Necronomicon, where Lovecraft used to live in that area. What's that? Connecticut. When he was alive. One second. So another listing I was thinking of creating is for something similar to this. something similar to this. I created this as part of a demo that I had done. That's the other thing about Necronomicon Tampa is that last year I did a demo of using gel presses, and honestly, people wanted me to do it again. So I've been trying to arrange for that, and I might be doing a gel press demo again, but with a focus on creating scenes like fantastical scenes. Luckily, I have a lot of stamps that of fantastical creatures and things like fairies, and obviously mermaids and things. And so basically, I would say this is a scene I made with these are 3 individual stamps, and this gel press for the background. I stamped the 3 fairies on. And this here down here is a couple of mushrooms, and then all of these stamps are from the same company. Again, it's Lavinia Stamps, which is based out of the UK. And those of you familiar with my writing know that I'm writing a fantasy novel, and there are a lot of magical creatures in my story. So, Diane, you'd love to see me do a gel press print. I can stay a little bit longer. I was thinking about doing that for you guys. So these were made with this gel press. The cover and the the dividers. This was also made with I do think I think it might have been on the there I have a larger circle. I made a whole set of things from using a slightly different type of ink, which is not in front of me, but where is it? It was. I thought it was. Oh, is that it? Here it is. Made with this ink right here, Distress Oxide ink by Ranger. It is really, really cool because it's, why don't I do that really quick while I'm still live. Here's another sample of something that I made using basically the same technique as a gel press, but Diane, I used a stamping block instead. And I stamped right on top of it. But this dragon isn't. What's her name? Is that Samira? I think that's Samira. I forget the name of the stamp right now. But isn't she cool? It's actually a baby dragon. There is another one exactly like this that's larger, and then Zamira. Is that Samira? That sounds right. And then there's more dragons on that I don't have yet, but I think they're neat. I can do that super quick here. I'm going to make some room over here on my little table I have set up. I have some more prints around here somewhere. Speaking of novels, guess what I bought recently? And it was delivered yesterday. The Heroine's Journey, because I'm utterly fascinated with Heroine's Journey. I have the original psychological type book that came first. But okay, so basically, when you're going to do this, you can, let me kind of clean that out just a little bit more. It's got a little dust on it, I guess. Get my, because I like this shirt. I have a, when I do gel press stuff, I kind of do like to use this. 1 second. ink and paint. And I don't want to get it on my clothes if I can help it. All right, that'll work. All right, so I wish I could show you better. I'm still learning how to use a second camera, and also without having to use the pro version of StreamYard. Right now I do have paid so that I can dual stream. But anyway, I have something I can roll this off onto. All right. So I do have my my standard brayer here. I do actually have another brayer that I bought pretty recently. Oh, I still have a lot of ink on here. I'm not sure I want to waste it. So what I might do is do a combination of inks, maybe, which I'm pretty new to that. But I like using watercolor on it, so that's a lot of fun. So yes, it does still has ink from when I made those index cards still, which is again this ink here. It's a dye ink, Diane, and it's very. This is the most juicy stamping ink I've ever had in my life. You can stamp with it. But you can also apply it to a brayer. Okay. I'm going to just kind of try and make it a little smoother. I don't want to take it all off, but so like I said, ironically enough, the name of this ink is Mermaid. Okay, that's not a big deal. Okay. Okay, so essentially, you brayer it on. I'm going to go ahead and you can make it as smooth or as rough as you want, visually, texture-wise, Diane. So there's really no wrong way to do this, which I love. Okay, so I've applied it in a pretty thin layer. Okay, so then I take a spray bottle of water. Next step. I don't want to do too much, just kind of. So kind of like that, you're just making it bead. This ink it's from the company that makes those stamps that I really like called Lavinia stamps. It's like I say, their line of dye ink is called Elements, and this color is called Mermaid. There's so many cool colors. Lots of jewel tones, and there's some earthy tones too, which makes sense for their products. So now what I will do. Now where did my little I moved everything. Okay. So I'm going to take one of these pieces of watercolor paper. It's a thick 90-pound paper, Diane, basically. This is Strathmore. So all I have to do now, which side do I want? There's like a rougher side and a smoother side, but more pebbly, and the other side is, you know what I mean, Diane? It's like it almost looks like a grid, you know what I mean? But essentially that's the back. I've seen both sides used. So then, sorry, ignore that. I'm just going to put it, I'm just popping it right on. I'm popping it right on. I'm lifting it. There we go. And I'm going to keep going. And I just applying over and over. And this is what I'm getting, and I'm going to keep going until I like what I see. And it's just intended to be there. I'm going to use it like a stamp, so you can do that too. Where you're just kind of tapping it on the paper too. And then that's what you get. And you just keep going until you like what you see, basically. So isn't that a great teal color, Diane? I do agree with you, Maggie. So that's the theory. And that just got on the back. It didn't soak all the way through. You're right. I do like 90-pound paper for stamping on, because it's smoother. It tends to be a lot smoother. This I've never had their 90-pound. I usually use the Canson for stamping on and using watercolor pencils with. But yeah, isn't that pretty, Diane? And so that looks like those index, the dividers for the index cards. So because this is a little thicker than what I used for Padgett's bookmarks, um, it's just a little bit heavier, and yeah, I used quite a bit, and some of it was a little stronger than what I used for the other ones. I don't really want to touch my index cards right now until I know this is dry on my fingers. But you can stamp on it really easy on this ink, Diane. It ends up drawing very flat, as opposed to some watercolor tends to kind of build up, right, in different layers. You know what I mean? So yeah, and then that's my result. And I did something very similar for this art you see here, except I used, like I say, I used a watercolor paint for that, and it ended up on being used for a card for a friend of mine who bought a card from my Etsy shop about a year ago, year and a half ago, maybe. So it's still there. You can see it, the card that, and the stamp I used on top of it was that, where is it? That that one Lavinia stamp. Where'd it go? The Hobbit door stamp. So yeah. Does anybody have any questions before I go? Please let me know. And yeah, like I say, I could just keep going with this because I still have ink on here, or I can add another color to it, and it's great. I could try and stamp on top of this paper, but what I was thinking of doing is because I saw this somewhere on YouTube. Oh, I think it was the Frugal Crafter, Diane. She took some watercolor paper she had, and that was very rough, and she liked the thickness, but she wanted it smoother, so she put it through a manual die cutting machine, and it smoothed it out. So that's also something I can do, something I want to try, because I can. But anyway, I do believe I said this earlier. I'm in the process of planning to put in the commissions my editing services as a way of requesting services from me in that way, because while this won't be my, official website, but I'm also in the process of selecting hosting and all of that stuff, and so I can have a website. However, I'm also a recent member of the Editorial Freelance Association, and I've recently joined, and I will be having a listing on their site within the next couple weeks. So yeah, I think that covers everything. I was very glad to do a quick demo for you guys. So yeah. Yeah, that's a nice color. So that's actually the first one that I have of that brand of ink. But like I say, I do have I have several distress inks, like that purple I showed you, which I used to create this with. But you know, that teal ink, that's a dye ink, and I also have lots of dye inks. Matter of fact, this whole set here, these are all dye inks and can be used in the same way. That's what's great about dye inks. And that's another teal. It's called Teal Zeal. That's a more blue teal. That was a more green. This one's a more blue. These colors, this is a great little set. There's a gray, it's called gray flannel. This one is called nautical blue. That's what I used to stamp the, no, it's not. That's not what I used to stamp the mermaid tail with, excuse me. That was a different color. Which I was going to use this purple with initially, this elderberry. Is that what I used? Actually, no, I'm wrong. That's what I used. I was going to use something more like this pigment ink, but instead I did end up using a dye ink. That is correct. It was this elderberry color, purple, dark purple. It's so dark purple that in the image that you see of the I'm just going to make sure my hands are not going to transfer onto this. The mermaid tail, it's such a dark purple that it almost looks black, right? So that's that elderberry that I just showed you, this dark purple here. That is what I end up using, actually. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody, and for staying as long as you did. I've been streaming today since 11 o'clock this morning. It's almost it's almost 1:30 in the afternoon now. No problem, Diane. I was ready to do it. If anybody wanted me to do that, so that's not a problem. Not a problem at all. Thank you, Maggie. Says always so pretty. Thank you very much. So like I say, I do have I was gifted some by my hubby. My first couple of gel presses were gifted to me by my hubby, and here is another one that's larger and that I've used in the past to make things. So this one's 8 inches. This is twice as big. I've just used it to do a variety of things because you can just use it with multiple things. You could make something and cut it down, which I've done. I've done that in the past, and I now I have a what size is this? I do believe it's a 9x12 as well. And so I use these just pieces of acrylic. to make it easier to work. Thank you very much, Maggie. Thank you. So yeah, if anybody has any questions about anything, please feel free to get in touch with me. You can DM me. So many links are below. My link tree, the in my link tree are links to all of my social media, my coffee, my Etsy shop, and some other things that I'm involved with. Yeah. All right. Well. Oh goodness. Wow. Oh, I guess it's delivery. Apologies. All right. On that note, have a good day, everybody. Bye.